My name's IOStax, I'm a professional Overwatch coach, and I have a few tips up my sleeve that might help you aim. Don't miss out on any future videos by headshotting that subscribe button and join the Discord to ask questions. So how do you actually practice your aim? Surprisingly, this is one of the easiest questions to answer, mainly because aiming is just not a complex skill at all. In the end, it comes down to one thing: putting your crosshair on the target. There are ways to optimize that process, which I mentioned in other videos, but at its heart, aiming is the easiest thing to understand in the entirety of Overwatch, let alone first-person shooters in general. So how can you practice your aim? There are really four main ways: competitive play, deathmatch, custom games, and 1v1ing. Competitive play in of itself is actually not the most efficient way to practice your aim, but it is the most efficient way to improve at Overwatch, bar scrimming. As a quick note, when talking about competitive play, I am talking about competitive matchmaking and organized team play. It is not that efficient as aim practice alone, because it doesn't always challenge you. Sometimes you're just spamming shields, sometimes you're waiting in queue, sometimes you are respawning, sometimes you're just walking all over the place, and sometimes you don't even play the character you want to have better aim with. But it does help you learn things about positioning, game sense, decision making, ult usage, and much more. Next up, deathmatch. Keep in mind that I am not talking about the arcade deathmatch. It's garbage. I mean going to the game browser and finding a decent FFA warm-up lobby. This is probably the best way to realistically improve your aim because the encounters are realistic and you are playing against actual players. If you want good mechanics and nothing else, then FFA lobbies are the way to go. It's going to be very hard, of course, because you will get stumped, but getting stumped is how you get better. Not everyone can handle FFA. A lot of players will lose over and over and over again and then call it quits. But if you have the balls and you want good aim, then playing FFA in custom game lobbies is the way to go. Custom games against bots are the most time efficient, but they don't have the same amount of realism. They do, however, allow you to mess around with variables like infinite ammo or movement speed to increase efficiency and precisely tune difficulty levels. There is obviously zero pressure, which makes it less effective as an aim practice method, but if you think you don't suffer from panic, which is very unlikely, it can be a great and super effective way to warm up. And lastly, we have 1v1s. This is slightly less effective than deathmatch, but it can be much more fun. The main advantage of practicing your aim in 1v1s is that you can 1v1 a friend. This allows both of you to improve, and there is also going to be a competitive drive. So you get the efficiency boost from custom games, and the realism boost from deathmatch, since you are playing against actual players, and you get extra stress because you want to win, similar to playing competitive. You also get the extra customizability from custom games, so you can mess around with the movement speed variables as long as you're playing hitscan characters, and change health and ammo values to increase time efficiency. So 1v1s are kind of the best of all worlds. You play against an actual human, you're tryharding to win, and there isn't a lot of downtime. So 1v1s are theoretically one of the best, if not the best way to improve your aim. There's just one problem. It's not really plug and play. Finding a partner isn't always easy, and when you do it with a friend, there will come a situation where times just don't line up, so it's less convenient. Now, as mentioned in other videos, challenge is the keyword. Challenge is the secret magic ingredient to improving your aim. Without challenge, your aim won't improve. So how can we make everything more challenging? One popular method is practicing sans crosshair. You can change your crosshair opacity to 0, or press Alt-Z to hide your entire HUD. This is very interesting because it allows you to drastically increase the amount of visual acuity practice you receive, so you will get better at visually tracking your opponents and relying less on your crosshair, while increasing the challenge and thus the improvement. The important thing during all practice techniques is really that you always try to go for maximum accuracy. You want to use all the info I mentioned in other videos of this series, especially the video about first shot accuracy, to optimize your practice. That's it for today's video.
Make sure to subscribe so you can see the other parts of Aim Secrets and join the Discord community to become a part of something bigger. My name is Aristax, and I'd like to thank you for learning.